Bringing people and communities together on seclosounds.org.
Your listening station.
Hi, I'm Terry Sullivan and welcome to this week's Sticks radio show here on Seclo Sounds. Today my guest is none other than Michael Smitham, guitarist and vocalist of the 60s and 70s band The Fortunes. They're playing on a special 50th Anniversary Tour, which Michael will tell us about in a little while. But let's get the show started with their first ever hit. It was number 2 in 1965. This is You've Got Your Troubles.
I see that worried look upon your face. You've got your troubles, I've got mine. She's found somebody else to take your place. You've got your troubles, I've got mine. I too have lost my love today. All of my dreams have flown away. Now just like you I sit and wonder why. You've got your troubles, I've got mine. You need some sympathy, well so do I. You've got your troubles, I've got mine. She used to love me, that I know. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And it don't seem so long ago. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We were walking, we were talking the way the lovers do. I too have lost my love today. All of my dreams have flown away. And so forgive me if I seem to you, my friend, that I ain't got no pity for you. Well, that ain't true. You see, I lost my little girl too. I'd help another place another time. You've got your troubles, I've got mine. You've got your troubles, I've got mine. You've got your troubles, I've got mine.
Hello, I'm Jim Cleland, and every Thursday between 12 and 2 p.m. on Seclo Sounds Radio, you can hear all things MK, where I will be bringing you local news, weather, traffic and travel, what's going on in Milton Keynes, and stories to make you smile. I will be raising the profile of different communities in our area and how you can get involved, presenting you with a music triple teaser, spotlighting local businesses and playing lots of music. Join me, Jim Cleland, for all things MK every Thursday between 12 and 2 on Seclo Sounds Radio.
Today on the Sticks radio show, I have a member of the 60s band The Fortunes. I have Mike Smitham. How you doing, Michael?
I'm good, mate. How's you?
I'm not too bad, not too bad.
How's life in the village?
Oh, it's unbelievable. Living where I do, it's like another world, really. It's like a third world. Whereabouts is home for you, Michael?
Right in the Midlands. Right in the Midlands, right, not far from Birmingham Airport, out in the country.
Are you not? Oh, that's great. Because I'm on that. I'm up that way in a couple of weeks' time, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm coming to the Edgbaston, fabulous Edgbaston. So.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we're going to be talking about you're doing a tour at the moment, or starting the tour, the 60s Gold-50th Anniversary Tour.
That's right, yeah, starts in 25th of September.
Yeah, and you're coming locally. We'll talk about that in a little while, but it's quite an interesting tour because it's not just the Fortunes who have a back catalogue that would fill a concert hall anyhow.
Yeah, and not only that, I mean, there's 5 or 6 acts on it. It's the 50th anniversary.
I know, it's amazing, isn't it?
For all of us. It all started about 63. Gerry and the Pacemakers,
yeah,
Searchers, us. We've got PJ Proby and Chip Hawkes and Brian Poole, who are both in the Tremeloes, and they do the show together as well. So it's a really good show. It's a great show. Yeah,
I mean, that music never dies, is it? I was brought up on the 60s music. I was born in 1962.
Yeah.
And my father played me all these. I've actually seen Brian Poole before, and I do remember PJ, and he's splitting his trousers. Is he not still doing that, is he?
No, not anymore, no.
What, splitting his trousers?
Once he gets down, he can't get up again.
A bit like most of us nowadays, isn't it? I mean, you've only been with the Searchers, the Fortunes for a little while, haven't you?
Well, about 30 years.
About 30 years?
Yeah, believe it or not, I'm the longest serving member. Now that our lead singer passed away 5 years ago, bless him, and I'm the longest serving member now. Yeah,
but they were formed back in 63, as we sort of mentioned earlier.
That's right.
By a pop impresario, Reg Calvert.
Yeah, over at Clifton Hall in Rugby, not far from where I'm sitting at the minute, yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah.
But what people do tend to forget is that that band, the original Fortunes that had the 4 or 5 hits, it only lasted for about 5 years.
Yeah.
Dave Carr went to America, Andy Brown left, and, people left, and Shel McRae joined, and it's been a transition right through the years, But yeah, I've been there longer than anybody now. I'm still waiting for the gold watch.
Oh, yeah. Always makes me laugh when people retire and they give them a clock or a watch. They live their life by the time and started work by the time, finished work by the time, and they give them a clock. Never mind.
Yeah, well, there you go.
It's just unbelievable. So, obviously you've been touring with the Fortunes for 30 years.
Yeah, over 30 years now, mate. Yeah.
So what would you sort of say is great about touring with the Fortunes?
It's the reaction afterwards. You mentioned it before. What people will get when they see the show. What really pleases me more than anything, we always have a meet and greet after the show. All the bands go down and they sign a few papers of paper and stuff. And there's nothing nicer than you get an old guy or an old lady come across with the same wrinkles on the face you've got, getting hold of your hand with both hands and shaking. Says, "You took me right back there." You know what I mean? Because you're in the business. Music's very emotive, isn't it? It's got this power to just take you back in seconds to where you were when you were a kid.
Yeah.
And that's what we do. We don't realise it, but that's exactly what our job is.
Mm.
It's great. I love it. Absolutely love it.
You really enjoy the touring, do you?
Yeah, of course. And the drinking, of course.
The drink, yeah, well, that goes without saying.
It's in the contract that you've got to do it.
You've got the rider, have you? That afterwards you have to have a couple of drinks.
It's not going out, is it? Yeah, of course it's not, though.
Yeah. So, have you been touring sort of regularly in the 30 years you've been with the Fortunes? Or?
Yeah, well, the band's never stopped. People say, where have you been? If we haven't seen you for 30 years. But we've never stopped working, ever.
No.
Up and down the country, over to Europe. But you do, for 10 months of the year, you just do your own show. You work with the 4 guys, you travel together. But for 2 or 3 months every year, everybody gets together, and it's a really cracking night out, I look forward to meeting the guys. There's 22 of us all, all of a certain age, all in their 30s playing up. It's really good fun,
Yeah, I mean, it must be like some kind of party every night with you lot, isn't it?
Well, it is. I mean, because you don't see each other all year, and it's a lot of people think it's a glamorous job, Terry, but, up and down the motorway on a Friday, it's like a Manic Friday. It is a real job, the driving and all the rest of it. You get an hour on stage where you really enjoy yourself, and it makes it even better when there's 20 other people on the tour, and when you come off, it's just really good fun, great fun.
Yeah, I'm assured. Do you? Let's sort of talk about with the show. Do you don't play together. You were on the show. You play separately as such. So
No,
you
it's
got
not something that this tour does. There are other tours that go out and do that. They do a big sort of reprise at the end where everybody piles on and does a rock and roll thing.
yeah.
But because there's so many acts on this show, I mean, a lot of the shows that go out, you get one band backing maybe 5 or 6 people.
Yeah.
But this show is true to the old-fashioned show. You've got, 6 separate acts or 5 different. So there isn't really time to do that if you're going to get all your hits in. You know what I mean? I know it's a nice thing to do at the end, but
No, just asking because of
the decision was that people wanted to do their show basically. So
so the
at
show.
the end of the day, to be honest, mate, it's down to the agent that books it. Theatres what they want, So
So you're on stage. What, best part of an hour?
yeah, well, maybe not. Maybe 45 minutes.
45
all
minutes.
the hits and a couple of really good ballads and stuff. And
That's great.
Get the people laughing and stuff like that.
So what's your favourite Fortune song?
I would say, to be honest, I mean, I love Here It Comes Again, You Got Your Troubles, the big hits.
Yeah,
I'd Storm in a Teacup. I love playing that song.
you do. Do
Never
you?
tire of any of them, but that one I look forward to, Storm in a Teacup.
Storm in a Teacup.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anybody you'd love to sort of sing with? I know you're obviously going to be playing with PJ Proby and all those sort of guys. Is there anybody sort of you've never played with or you'd love to play with?
Most of them have gone, to be honest. But my musical taste sort of lives outside the Fortunes, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
I've never had the chance really to play with. I've only been in 3 bands in my entire career,
Have you really?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I started off working with band in, working for a guy in London, and we backed everybody. Jim Proby, PJ Proby, we did 6 tours with Jim in the 70s when their star was sort of fading after the 60s hit. He came over, we did all American Air Force bases, all over Europe. And I played with everybody, Del Shannon, Bobby V, Percy Sledge, the Marvelettes, Johnny Tillers, country, soul, then rock and roll, and back to country and western, then another, the Supremes. It was really good, great grounding, great apprenticeship for me. So, I would love to play with, be outside this genre of music, Your listeners probably wouldn't have heard of them if I mentioned them.
Oh, I don't know. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. So you say most of them have gone. Is there anybody you sort of regret that you never managed to meet up with or play with?
Well, Elvis, of course.
The amount of people who say that.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's the king, wasn't he? But Roy Orbison.
Oh, yes.
When I was touring with Del Shannon, we stayed in a hotel, and Roy was touring with his own band, and there he was. He sat there with his dark glasses on in the bar, and we were playing cards till about 4 o'clock in the morning, and I never get to see him work. I never got to see Roy work, and it was a lovely chap, lovely, very quiet, well-spoken man.
Because, of course...
I didn't see him work, and I would love to have seen that.
But at least you got to meet him, which is more than most people probably did.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, most of the younger listeners will probably remember him from the Travelling Wilburys.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Jeff Lynne was a big mate of Del Shannon's, because Del was going to be at Wilbury, you see.
Was he really?
Yeah, in fact, your man from Lake August, Jeff Lynne, he came to a show we did up in, I can't remember now, the Brewery Town. And we sat around the table and he was discussing Del being a Travelling Wilbury, but then tragically Del,
passed away.
Yeah, he lost his way a bit, and off he went.
Because Jeff Lynne's a Birmingham boy as well, isn't he? Or
yeah, he is. Yeah,
West Country boy.
And Roy Wood, they're all.
Yeah. So there must be some great stories of those times, though.
Oh yeah, I mean Rod and Barry, they were there right from the very beginning. I've sat and I've cried. Wheeze came out. I've laughed so much. They're really good stories. Look, we've met a lot of them. We did some recording with Roy. I mean, that was Roy Wood. I mean, that was a day and a week and a half. That was really, really good fun. A great fella, great, very talented man, Roy Wood.
That's great. So, what would you say the high point so far of your career, either with the Fortunes or before that?
Well, I hope I haven't hit it yet.
You hope so?
Yeah.
That's today when you're talking to me. No, I'm joking.
Well, little things like getting the gold record live on a Dutch TV show, that was fantastic.
Okay.
Totally unexpected that was.
What was that? What was that for?
We did an album in '87 for Jan Vist organisation. It was called All the Hits and More, and it was produced by a guy who was a big star over in Holland. And it was all the old hits redone, but some new stuff as well. And we didn't know how well it would go, to be honest, but it sold nearly 100,000 CDs and albums. and we did a live TV show, and they came on. This beautiful lady came on and gave us all a gold record. I mean, I was just down on the floor. You know, it's fantastic.
Wow. I mean, to sell 100,000 records nowadays is certainly not shabby, is it?
Well, I mean, can you sell records anymore?
Well, I mean, that's the trouble,
those
isn't it?
days are gone now, aren't they, dude? You know.
I think they have. I think the live music's the big thing, and the obviously the downloads and the sort of iPlayers and the iPods and all that business, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, you were there as I was. I mean, the music industry sort of flared up very brightly for 3 decades and just disappeared because the advent of the internet just made it, you know, it was gone.
Well, I remember the lovely vinyl. I still have a collection of vinyl. I love the feel and the sound of vinyl. It sort of has those warts and all sounds, doesn't it?
That's right.
I love all that.
But I know producers, mate, who still record as if they were recording like a vinyl because they want all the pops and the scratches and all that.
Yeah.
It's more warm. It's more warmth to it. It's
Yeah,
live,
I mean,
you know?
it's like the live sound, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
it can be a bit of a disappointment. I've seen bands that I've heard on CD and then gone to see them, and you think, well, it doesn't quite sound right. But equally,
it's clinical.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I must admit, one of the people I went to see quite a few years ago now, about 10 or 12 years ago, was Chris Rea. And it was like listening to a CD in the house.
Yeah.
It was just too clean.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
And he was a little bit of a disappointment to me, that's personally. I mean, the music was sensational, but the show was not what I was hoping for, you know, but that's life.
I see that girl go walking by. I know boy shouldn't cry. Here it comes again, that feeling, here it comes again. When I see her look into his eyes, no matter how I try, here it comes again. That feeling, here it comes again. I find I'm crying over you. I know it's not the thing to do. I'm on my own, I walk alone. A heart without a home. Here it comes again. That feeling, here it comes again. When love walked out, a fire went out inside of me. They put it on, those tears inside of me. There is nothing you said for me to say. You broke my heart. Here it comes again. That feeling, here it comes again. I find I'm crying over you. I know it's not the thing to do. Now I'm on my own, I walk alone. A heart without a home. Here it comes again. That feeling, here it comes again. Here it comes again. That feeling, here it comes again. Here it comes again. That feeling, here it comes again. Here it comes again. That feeling.
The Drive Time Show with Nigel G every Monday to Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. online at seclosounds.org. The best mix of music and fun to wind down your day. Listen out for a slice of cheese, the rotten tomato, and remember the beans. Intrigued? Don't miss the Drive Time Show with Nigel G every Monday to Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. on seclosounds.org.
That was the Fortunes and their 1965 number 4. Here it comes again. Let's rejoin Michael Smitham. Have you sort of any unfulfilled ambitions as the Fortunes or yourself?
To live on.
Every day.
This economic downturn hit at a bad time. You know, it was just after Rod had passed away. You've just lost the voice of the 60s. And you think, that's it, game over. But Rod said, no, you blooming carry on. But then we had this big, you know, we'd just gone to Vegas with the Searchers. We played in Vegas. And then we did, I think it was 14 days in Canada. And it was all looking really good. People saying, hey, I'll tell you what, you've still got it, you know. And it was all flying, and then the bubble burst. So I just wish we could get through this blooming recession and get people back out enjoying themselves. You know, a guy's not going to, if he can't pay his mortgage, Terry, he's not going to come and see a show.
Well, that's fair. It seems to be, I don't know, around the area where we cover, the Seclo Sounds and the area I cover with the Sticks magazine, the live theatre seems to be getting vibrant. I go quite a bit to different shows, and they always seem to be very well attended. I've not been to a very poorly attended show for a couple of years now, so I think things hopefully are on the music and live front are looking up.
Well, this show, this tour we're doing, mate, it's selling out. I mean, we've got one gig. I think it's on the 15th of October in Canterbury. It's sold out, so they've put another one in on the 1st of October at the same place.
I mean,
sold out. So, I mean, yeah, people are coming back to the theatres. Yeah. We're doing, I mean, the Searchers and Gerry have done it for many, many years. They've done their own solo show. They do 2 hours just themselves, which is hard work, you know. And we've just started doing it. We've got about 14 shows that start next year, and we're calling it Past and Present. And all them stories I haven't told you because I'm saving them.
Oh, go on.
We're going to tell them all these little anecdotes about where we come from and who we knew and what happened there and when and stuff. And we've done 3 shows, and it's gone a storm, absolute storm. So, yeah, I think you're right, mate. I think things are turning round. Yeah.
So you're not going to let us in on any of these stories? That's what I was after. One of these stories you've never told before. Go on.
Let it lie, would you, Terry? You wouldn't.
I wouldn't. No. No, that's what I get paid for.
Just little things, you know. I mean, people see people like Bobby V and all these guys on stage, and they see just a personality upstairs. But off stage, they're very, of course, they're similar. But they've got little winkles and stuff, and little things that's happened to us. I mean, when I was touring with Bobby, we did. It's a long story. This. You got time?
That's fine. Yeah, we got time.
Yeah. Well, we were all travelling in the group's van at the time before we had roadies and stuff, and we started off in Air Force bases all over Great Britain, and then we went to Holland, and then went to Belgium, into Germany, and then we drove down to Switzerland through the Brunner Pass into Italy, and it was just a fantastic, for a young guy, all these places we were going to. It's like, you know, my dad never flew anywhere in his life, never saw any other girl, my mum. And we got into Italy, we drove down to Brindisi in the south, looks like Africa, and then we get back up north, and we're going to Naples, and a place I've always wanted to see. Sorry, you know?
Yeah.
And we got to there, and of course, Bobby had flown in the day before, and all the guys were shattered. Anyway, I had a quick wash and a shave. Where can I go and see the Bay of Naples? If you walk up the hill, top of the hill. So I walk up there, and I think getting close to the top of the hill, it's a beautiful, sunny summer's day. A Sunday, I remember it, you know, long as I live. And I could hear this guitar playing. And as I got over the brow of this hill, there's the Bay of Naples, mate, with all the, what's it called, bougainvillea, the flowers. I could see it in my mind now. And there, with his back against a tree, with a acoustic guitar and a pen and a paper and a glass of wine, bottle of wine, Bobby V writing songs.
Oh, it's amazing, isn't it?
You know, and I sat, I said, Bob, won't disturb you. No, come and sit down, man. And we sat and we sang songs, overlooking the Bay of Naples.
Oh, that's. I mean, those sort of stories are absolutely amazing, aren't they?
Yeah, well, I tell that one on the show, and you just spoiled it for everybody now.
That's good. Well,
no, you've done it now. You see.
But that'll give them a taster of what they can expect next year.
Yeah, there's a few more like that. I mean, we're all well travelled. I mean, Bob, our keyboard player, bless him, he was with Badfinger. Now you know the story about Badfinger, don't you?
No, well, I might do, but you better tell everybody else.
Well, I mean, basically, they wrote what Paul McCartney called the best love song ever written. That was Without You. That Nilsson took to number 1 twice in his career, and Mariah Carey did the same thing. But the two boys who wrote that song were the two guys who had a Badfinger.
Okay.
Yeah, and they were going to get so much money off this song, but some unscrupulous, person, whoever it was, just denied them the money, and they both committed suicide, mate.
Oh, that's not great, is it?
Oh, this is true. This is true stories. These two lovely lads, great songwriters, the Beatles' favourite band they were, Badfinger, and they just couldn't get the money out of the States, and obviously they were pop stars who were spending, and they were wanting to look after their families. Just couldn't cope. So people don't know these stories, and that's what we try and do. Don't get me wrong, we're not trying to bring anybody down. It's all very light-hearted and stuff. But when Bob sings, we do a song in our show that Bob wrote just after Tommy died. I Won't Forget You, and it brings the house down, mate. Brings the house down.
Yeah, because that was a few years ago when he died. It was
it was
1999.
And the family's still going through it now. You know the music business, mate. It's all litigation. And
I know. Well, a few weeks ago, I had on the show Les McEwen.
Right.
From the Bay City Rollers, and I think we all remember there was a documentary, I think last year, the year before, what happened to the Rollers' money.
Yeah.
And that's all tied up in record companies that went bust. And
that's right.
Also, months ago, I had Hazel O'Connor from the 80s, remember Breaking Glass?
Coventry girl.
Yeah, she's a great girl, she is.
Yeah.
Very, very, very feisty lady.
Yeah.
And, she was still fighting until a couple of years ago for the money she made out of Breaking Glass.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Because the film company I think it was the record company went bust, and then they sold on to somebody else, and It becomes a nightmare because if I'm correct, you probably know this better than I do, that if you have a hit record now, you wait a year for the royalties.
That's right.
In
the old days, you had to have a couple of hits before you started making any money.
Yeah.
So much money laid out. A lot of the guys, the record companies, here's your money spent. But that all came off the deal. Mm. They didn't know that until the end of it. Where's your money? Where's the money going? Well, you spent it on this and that.
Yeah.
You think it's all free and the record company look after you? No, these guys knows what they're doing, mate,
Yeah.
Yeah, some sad stories, but some really good stories.
Oh, I mean, this is it. I mean, you can't alter history, really, in many ways. And, I must admit, as the listeners know, I'm a huge Elvis fan. I was out at the hotel at Christmas where they shot Blue Hawaii. It was an amazing experience myself, and met the guy who plays the ukulele at the end of Blue Hawaii, which is a sort of an event I'm not like to forget, and I've probably mentioned it a couple of times already on the show, so people are getting bored with that one. You mentioned earlier, about 10 years ago, you were out in Vegas playing with the Searchers.
That's right, yeah.
That must have been quite an interesting time.
You've got to believe it.
I've never been to Vegas, but I've heard lots of stories about Vegas.
It is one of those places. It never closes, anything you want, any time, night or day. And in the casinos over there, there's no windows, there's no clocks.
No, so I've heard.
You don't know what time it is. It's a fabulous place to party, it really is.
Yeah.
We loved it. We were in a place called the Cannery Casino, and what that place was, it wasn't on the Strip. It's where the people who live in Vegas go.
Okay.
And we had people like Stevie Winwood in the audience, and all these celebs,
Really?
Show, and it was really cracking, great gig. I loved it, absolutely loved it.
And how did the Americans sort of take what they called the British invasion years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, how did they take this show?
Well, how did they sort of take it, because, obviously, they love their American stars, but for Brits to come over there again and sort of, did they remember you, obviously?
Yeah, they did. The fortunes had... The 60s hits weren't very big over there, but they had hits in the 70s, you see. Mm. So that's a bit more current. So there was fairly younger people, not like people like me, close to death, but younger people who remembered the 70s hits.
Yeah.
And, it was a great night, fantastic night.
Yeah,
we went on first and stormed, then the Searchers went on and did a great job afterwards. It was really good. We met a few people afterwards. And, they took to us really well. And when you're coming back, but like I say, then the bubble burst.
Yeah.
We had this big crisis. And then, to be perfectly honest, I haven't heard from that agent from that day to this.
Oh, that's terrible.
I've emailed him, but he says, look, things are still tough here. I have things over there. And I say, exactly the same. So,
And, when you're not touring this country, you do a few cruise liners, is that right?
Oh, we have cruised, yeah, and then that's good fun too. The weird thing about that is, you probably only do one gig on the entire cruise.
Yeah.
So before you do the gig, nobody knows who you are, and then as soon as you've done the gig, everybody knows who you are, and let's watch the monkey feed. You know what I mean? You've got maybe 1,000 people on the ship, and they've all seen you. So everything you do, they watch you. Oh, look, he's in the gym now. Look, he's eating food now. Look at that.
Yeah, it's very odd, isn't it? I must admit, I've cruised a lot, and you see the comic from the night before suddenly in a pair of a t-shirt and a pair of shorts, and you think, hello. But there is a plus side of it though, because you have a sort of like a captive audience, don't you? The people have come to see you because they want to see you. They don't, you know, on a cruise line you've got like 3,000 people or whatever, and you're on in the theatre, and there's lots of other attractions on the boat. For those that haven't cruised, it's like having a village at sea, isn't it, or a town at sea?
It is. It's exactly that, especially the longer cruises. It just surprises me, though, Terry, that you only do one show or maybe two shows. We did one cruise, and all it was called Celts and Capitals for Fred Olsen, who went from all the way around the British Island, all the way around, like clockwise. And we did one show in the middle of it, and the punters the passengers got this petition together for us to play again. And they took it to the purser, and I had to get off in Edinburgh and phone the agency in London. He said, well, you're not getting paid anymore. I said, that's not a problem, but he said, well, I've never heard of it before, but yeah, if you guys want to do it, you can do it.
Wow.
They wanted to see us again, you know. It always surprises me that you do these cruises and you just do maybe one show out and one show back.
Yeah, they tend not to milk the act. I've seen that. I've seen comics do two separate shows, but I've never seen the same band do the same. You know, they might do an early show and then the late show. Yeah. But I've never seen them sort of do more than one show. It's you know.
It's odd, isn't it? It is odd. If you're topping the bill, you think, you know, if it's like you say, a bigger ship with 3,000 people on, you would do a couple of shows, a first sitting and a second sitting. But if people enjoy it, and people do, I'm sure they want to come and see it again. I'd rather work, put it this way, I'd rather work than sit on my backside.
I think, well, yeah. I mean, most of those guys are paying to sit on their backside, but...
Yeah, right, yeah.
So, what sort of music do you listen to yourself now? If you're on the radio or in your car, what sort of music are you listening to yourself?
Well, you might not believe this, but it's true. I don't even have a CD player.
Do you not?
No.
Really?
No, I don't have a CD player at all.
So,
in my car, it's all Radio 4, Radio 5.
So that's the sort of thing you listen to?
Yeah.
This golden ring's gonna buy me a place in my baby's heart. This golden ring's gonna make quite sure that we never part. It's so funny what a ring can do. Make a girl just like you take her right downtown, searching for a wedding gown. So I got a ring for my baby, and I'm thinking very soon that maybe that girl will be mine. We're gonna have an angel divine, and everything is gonna be fine, so fine. This golden ring is all I have to give to you. But given time and love, I'll make your dreams come true. I've been saving all my money, I've been working hard, girl, only with you in mind. We got something more than money, we got a love that's gonna last us. It's so funny what a ring can do. Make a girl just like you take her right downtown, searching for a wedding gown. So I got a ring for my baby, and I'm thinking very soon that maybe that girl will be mine. We're gonna have an angel divine, and everything is gonna be fine, so fine, fine.
MK Flyers Online, the fast and simple way to find any kind of business or service locally. Find us at mkflyersonline.co.uk or download the MK Flyers mobile app from your app store. MK Flyers Online proudly supports Seclo Sounds, community radio for Milton Keynes.
Happy Radio.
This summer, the best music, the best feelings and great memories. Starting on July the 19th, a new look to Friday lunchtimes with 2 hours of upbeat tunes, our smartphone app of the week and your songs that bring back the moments you can never forget. So join me, Russell Hearn, every Friday 12 till 2 for some Happy Radio.
I still get the same old feeling tearing up this heart of mine, telling me that maybe I'm not really over you. I still get the same old yearning turning my heart inside out. Love, there can't be any doubt, I'm still not over you. The oak tree where you carved my name a year ago now somehow doesn't really look the same. I think it knows now the places we would go, still play the songs we used to know. I still get the same old feeling tearing at this heart of mine, telling me that maybe I'm not really over you. I still get the same old yearning turning my heart inside out. Love, there can't be any doubt, I'm still not over you. The cottage where we used to meet is overgrown now. We dream we live there too someday, just on our own now. The letters you wrote me still bring back sad old memories. I still get the same old feeling tearing at this heart of mine, telling me that maybe I'm not really over you. I still get the same old yearning turning my heart inside out. Love, there can't be any doubt, I'm still not over you. I still get the same old feeling tearing at this heart of mine, telling me that maybe I'm not really over you. I still get the same old yearning turning my heart inside out.
That was two in a row from the fabulous Foundations. First we heard This Golden Ring, originally a hit in 1966, followed by The Same Old Feeling, which was a hit for them in 1970. This was originally recorded by local man Clem Curtis and the Foundations. Let's rejoin Michael Smitham.
It's a long story, but I think I became a musician because I didn't want to work in a pit. It wasn't like Bob Jackson, our keyboard player. He is passionate, absolutely passionate about his music. Now, I'm not. I truly, it's a terrible thing for a musician to say, but I like the mechanics of it all. I like getting the shows, and I like putting the shows together and organising that kind of thing. The music, to me, I can do it. You know, people have always said to me, do you ever rehearse with your guitar? I said, no, I've got probably 11 guitars in front of me here. I hardly ever pick them up. But there are people who sit and rehearse religiously for hours every day. Ricky Westwood, bless him, just retired from the Tremeloes. Probably one of the best guitarists I've ever heard in my life. And if you rang Ricky up, he'd still be playing while he's got his phone trapped under his chin. You know what I mean? And he's really still is a great player. But yeah, I do listen to stuff occasionally, but I'm into guitarists, people like Eric Johnson and Steve Vai and people like that.
Okay.
I just knock myself out of the technicality of the way these people can play. I just haven't got the patience to do it myself. You know.
So
how many notes can you get in Here It Comes Again anyway, be honest?
Well, that's fair comment, isn't it? Yeah. So you don't play music at home or anything like that?
No. I've always had a hankering to maybe play with a blues band, maybe a Chicago blues band.
Yeah.
But again, I can't commit to that, because if a gig comes in with a thought, that's what I've got to do.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
maybe when I retire.
Is that an admission, or is that Are you going to retire?
We're all getting to a certain age now, and it seems to me you got people like Ricky getting to the 70s and packing up. That seems to be about. This is the first generation that's gone through all this, and people are getting to 70 and they're packing up. So I'm 48 this year.
Yeah. Okay. So am I.
Terry. So I'd like to think, God willing, if my health holds up, I'll go for 70 plus.
Okay.
I'm still fit. I'm still running. Still doing me weights, me training and stuff. So if God's good, I'll carry on as long as I can.
Yeah. Because I had Frank Allen from the Searchers on months ago, and
he's got a photo in the loft. He has.
I mean, yeah, exactly. I couldn't believe how old he was. And I couldn't, he was talking to me that the Searchers started in 1962, which happened to be the year I was born.
Yeah.
And the guy was, like yourself, he enjoys playing live. He says there's nothing better than getting on stage and performing.
That's right.
And from that, I understand from your sort of admission that you love performing live as well.
That's the buzz for me. That is the buzz for me. It's not the hours and hours spent perfecting my art.
No.
I'm not that talented.
No.
I'm a fairly good player, and I can do whatever's needed in any situation. Hence my apprenticeship with all the bands. I can play soul, I can play rock and roll, I can play anything. I'm sort of jack of all and master of none, and that suits me fine. I like get up on stage and having a sing and make people laugh.
And that gives you the sort of will to get out of bed every morning.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Exactly. Away from sort of the music business, if you were sort of having a night out, what would you? If I said to you, "Oh, we go out tonight for a night out," what would you go and do?
Well, I'm a pub man.
Are you?
Yeah, I love me local. I like nothing better than to sit with a bunch of old fogies talking about the war. But on the other hand, I like to go. There's bands around in Coventry, in the area.
Yeah.
I don't live in Coventry, but bands you wouldn't know, bands called the Swains, and just local guys. And I go down and see them. I'm going to have a pint at the back of the room and have a look. And I like being with my family, going out for meals and stuff. Just normal thing.
Stuff. So if you wouldn't go to the theatre, or you'd
Oh yeah, I love the theatre.
Do you?
But normally, again, unless you can book it up months ahead. We live not far from Stratford.
Okay.
But you try and get a ticket unless you book it up months ahead, and I can't do that
No,
because the show comes in. I've got to do the show. So yeah, I love the theatre. Go to London and see the shows down there. But believe it or not, now don't laugh. Last year I bought a caravan.
Oh, you didn't?
I did.
Yeah.
Yep. And I absolutely love it. My brother's had one for about 30 years, and I kept saying, laughing at it, "Why would you want a wee in a bucket?" Last year, we went down, it was parked outside his house, he was getting it ready for the season. I walked into it, I couldn't believe it. It's not like I remember caravans.
No, they're state of the art now, aren't they? They really are.
I couldn't believe it, man. So I went, me and my wife went and we had a look at one, and we walked away with it, we bought it.
That's
and
great.
I've been away 5 times this year, and I'm going away next week as well.
Are you somewhere nice?
We've been to Lake District, we've been to Cambridgeshire, we've been to all over the place. Been up to Buxton, been down to Gloucestershire, been to Cornwall.
Okay.
I even found a place called Smitham Manor.
Really?
Yeah, that's my last name.
Yeah.
Place it in Cornwall, and it's a lovely old house. And there's no history there with the name. The guy didn't know we bought it like that. But yeah, I'm seeing parts of the country I've never seen before, and it's fabulous. I love it.
And that's remarkable because you've toured the UK for 30 years.
Yeah, but it's like the old thing. You ask any guy in this business. We fly all over the world, but what you see is the airport. You get picked up.
Yeah.
Hotel. The gig, back to the hotel, back to the airport.
Yeah, agreed.
If you've got a couple of days off, mate, you don't see anything.
And you're driving up and down the motorway, you're thinking, I need to get to X by a certain time to do the sound check, and then obviously after the gig, you want to get your backside home, don't you?
Yeah, well, I mean, next time you get anybody on in this business of our genre, you ask them what you do when you see somebody on the TV, and they say, you get in your head saying, been there, been there, been there. But you haven't seen it.
No.
You know what I mean? So, a couple of weeks ago, we went down to... we met some friends up near Buxton. I've played the Opera House in Buxton.
Yeah.
Loads of times. But we parked about down the bottom of the dales there, and we went up in the van, Pam and I, and absolutely beautiful. I've been there a dozen times and never really seen it.
Oh, Britain is amazing. I must admit, I'm very fortunate. I go to Norfolk a lot, and I go to Yorkshire quite regularly.
Yeah.
To visit sort of friends and family, and there's so much stuff in Great Britain. I mean, I'm very fortunate. I do travel around, all over the world as well.
Yeah.
But there's so much stuff here in Britain to actually see. It's remarkable, isn't it?
Well, I came back up in Lake District, a place called Troutbeck, just not far from Penrith in North Lakes. Stayed up there for 5-6 days, and we had scorching sunshine and absolute torrents of rain. we were walking, and it didn't matter what the weather was. When you're in the Lake District, it's awesome, whatever the weather is. Do you know what I mean? There's no nicer country when the weather's nicer than the Great Britain, I think. It's just beautiful, lovely. And I'm seeing it really for the first time. You know?
After all these years. Anyway, we're almost out of time, Michael.
Okay, mate.
Let's just go through this 60s Gold 50th Anniversary Tour.
Yeah.
It's the Fortunes, which you're part of. We got Gerry and the Pacemakers. We have the Fabulous Searchers as well. The controversial ponytail PJ Proby. Has he still got the ponytail?
No, he's got a beard now.
He's got a beard.
Got big sideboards. It looks like he's on the phone.
And of course the Fortunes. And you're going to be playing all your top 10 hits. You're going to be playing. You've got your Troubles. Here It Comes Again. Freedom Come, Freedom Go. Storm of the Teacup.
Teacup, all those. We've also got Chip Hawkes and Brian Poole.
That's right. Formerly of the Tremeloes, which is that's the first time for a few years they've been back together, haven't they?
It is, the two of them together. They're putting a great show on. It's a really cracking show, this.
Yeah,
it really is a good show.
And you're coming to the area. There's two shows you're doing. You're doing 27th of September, you're coming to Stevenage and the Concert Hall, which is a great venue. Yeah. And then on the 16th of November, getting close to Christmas then, you're getting St Albans. You're going to the St Albans Arena.
That's right.
Have you been to any of those places before?
Yeah, both of them.
They're both great arenas.
Fabulous places, yeah. No, I recommend this. I mean, I know it's all a big sell and everything, but this is a cracking show. It's a 50th anniversary show, and I recommend everybody goes and see it, because who knows? You know, anything can happen. We're all getting of a certain age.
Yeah, agreed.
It's a really good show, this. I recommend it to anybody.
Okay, and is there a website where people can,
Well, any of the bands that's on
have their own website?
Yeah, thefortunes.co.uk. Just look on the tour dates page. All the names are there. All the numbers are there. Click on the links and you go straight to their website.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time today, Michael.
It's been a pleasure, Terry. Anytime, mate.
Oh, yeah.
This is Howling Dick. And if you enjoy the blues, you're really going to love Wednesday nights on Seclo Sounds. I'm going to be playing the best in American roots, boogie and gospel, featuring music by the greats and some of the not so well known. From Charlie Patton to Eric Clapton and beyond. If it's blues, it's going to be here. So please, join me, Howling Dick, Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock with blues from the MK Delta, here on seclosounds.org, bringing communities and people together.
Rain
Join DJ Escudero for My Latinesque show on Seclo Sounds every Saturday from 6 p.m. till 8 p.m. For everything cool and hot, Latin and local, it's Seclo Sounds with DJ Escudero. Para todo cool y caliente, latino y local, escucha a DJ Escudero en Seclo Sounds.
Freedom come, freedom go. Tell me yes and then she tell me no. Freedom never stay long. Freedom moving along. Freedom what? Freedom stay. Freedom love and then she flies away. Freedom never stay long. Freedom moving along. Daddy is a doctor, mother is a debutante, girl is a society. Living in a mansion somewhere in the country and another in Chelsea. Freedom is a rich girl, dad is a sweet girl, pretty as a sunny day. Freedom never does do what she doesn't want to. Freedom never has to pay. Freedom come, freedom go. Tell me yes and then she tell me no. Freedom never stay long. Freedom moving along. Freedom what? Freedom stay. Freedom love and then she flies away. Freedom never stay long. Freedom moving along. Freedom is a name and freedom is a nature running all around the town. Everybody wants to, everybody tries to, but nobody can hold her down. Freedom is so kind, freedom is so gentle, freedom is a happy day. Freedom, what would you do if I say I love you? Freedom, would you run away? Freedom come, freedom go. Tell me yes and then she tell me no. Freedom never stay long. Freedom moving along. Freedom what? Freedom stay. Freedom love and then she flies away. Freedom never stay long. Freedom moving along. Freedom come, freedom go. Tell me yes and then she tell me no. Freedom never stay long. Freedom moving along. Freedom what? Freedom stay. Freedom love and then she flies away. Freedom never stay long. Freedom moving along. Freedom come, freedom go. Tell me yes and then she tell me no. Freedom never stay long. Freedom moving along. Freedom what? Freedom stay. Freedom love and then she flies away. Freedom never stay long. Freedom moving along. Freedom come.
We're having a feast of Fortune's music this morning with great hits from the 60s and the 70s. We just had two in a row. We had Storm in a Teacup, which was originally a hit for a number 7 hit in 1972, written by Lindsay DePaul and Ron Roker for the Fortunes. And just now we heard Freedom Come, Freedom Go, which was a number 6 hit in 1971. Let's just have one more Fortunes tune before we wind up the show. This is Seasons in the Sun, originally a hit for, I think it was a number 1 in the 70s for Terry Jacks. This is the Fortunes version of Seasons in the Sun.
Trusted friend, we've known each other since we were 9 or 10. Together we climbed hills and trees, learned of love and ABCs, skinned our hearts and skinned our knees. You and me, it's hard to die when all the birds are singing in the sky. Now that the spring is in the air, pretty girls are everywhere. Think of me and I'll be there. We had joy, we had fun, we had seasons in the sun, but the hills we used to pray for me. I was the black sheep of the family. You tried to teach me right from wrong. Too much wine and too much song. I wonder how I got along. Papa, it's hard to die when all the birds are singing in the sky. Now that the spring is in the air, little children everywhere think of me and I'll be there. We had joy, we had fun, we had seasons in the sun, but the hills we used to climb were just seasons out of time. All our lives we had fun, but the hills we used to climb were just seasons out of time. You, Francoise, my trusted wife, without you I'd have had a lonely life. You cheated lots of times, but then I forgave you in the end. Though your lover was my friend. We had joy, we had fun, we had seasons in the sun, but the hills we used to climb were just seasons out of time. All our lives we had fun, but the hills we used to climb were just seasons out of time. We had joy, we had fun, we had seasons in the sun, but the hills we used to climb were just seasons out of time. All our lives we had fun, but the hills we used to climb were just seasons out of time. We had joy, we had fun, we had seasons in the sun, but the hills we used to climb were just seasons out of time. All our lives we
Classics from Scratch. Discover classical music with me, Catherine Rose. I'll be joined by special guests from the musical world and a visit from Lady Effingham, who has a lot to say about the classical music scene. I'll be live here every Thursday with a mixture of the familiar and the new. Join me on Classics from Scratch on Thursdays at 2, online at seclosounds.org.
As always, it's been great fun on the Sticks Radio Show. I'd like to thank Mike Smitham for being my guest today of the Full Tunes. Just like to run through where you can actually see the Full Tunes along with the Searchers, Gerry the Pacemakers and the fabulous BJ Proby. You can see them on the Sixties Gold-50th Anniversary Tour on the 27th of September at Stevenage Concert Hall, and also on the 16th of November at St Albans at the Auburn Arena. So we're almost out of time, so as always, I'm Terry Sullivan. This has been the Sticks Radio Show. Until next week, it's bye for now.
MK Pulse proudly sponsors Seclo Sounds. MK Pulse is Milton Keynes' local magazine, bringing helpful information on food, health, fashion, money, travel, culture, and much more to 66,000 readers every month. Plus news, views, and what's on from around the city. If it's happening in Milton Keynes, it's in MK Pulse, and it's available online at www.mkpulse.co.uk. MK Pulse and Seclo Sounds, the heart and soul of the city.